Hi guys, in this video we're going to look at how do we multiply binomials. So we've already been seeing how to multiply a polynomial by a monomial, which is just a one thing in front. So one term, a monomial, one term, times a polynomial which has more than one term. In this one we're going to look at how do we multiply things that have two terms together. Okay, so here we have 3c plus 2 times 2c minus 4. These are both binomials because they both have two terms. So we're going to be using our distributive property, which we've already looked at, and we're going to do basically everything in the first binomial is going to get multiplied by everything in the second binomial. So in this one, I'm going to go ahead and start with 3c, and I'm going to multiply it by 2c, which is this drawing over here. So let's do it. What is 3c times 2c? Well, we've already been looking at our rules of exponents and all that. So 3 times 2 is going to give me 6, and c times c is going to give me c squared. So that's what I'm going to get when I multiply 3c times 2c. So when I multiply 3c times 2c, we get 6c squared. Let's do the second one. So we already did the first one times the first one. Let's do the first one times the second one. So that's going to be 3c times, now it's a negative 4. So 3c times a negative 4. Well, let's see what that is. 3 times negative 4 I know is negative 12, and then the c has nothing to multiply by, so it's just going to be negative 12c. So I'm going to write here negative 12c. Okay, let's go ahead and do now the first term got multiplied by everything in the second one. Now let's do the second term times everything in the second binomial. So now positive 2 times positive 2c. So positive 2 times positive 2c, that's going to give me 4c, because 2 times 2c, 2 times 2 is 4, and so we're left with just the c. Now we did it times the first one, we still need to do it times the second term. So positive 2 times a negative 4. So positive 2 times a negative 4, well, I can do that. 2 times negative 4, that's just negative 8. So now I ask myself, did I multiply everything? Yes, I multiply the first one by everything here, and I multiply the second one by everything here. So I'm good to go. Now I just have to try and simplify. So let's go ahead and try and simplify this. I'm going to look to see if there's any like families, any like terms. Well, I see right away that these both have c's, so I could probably combine those, and that's about it. So I'm going to go ahead and say, okay, well, what is negative 12c plus 4c? I can do that. I know how to combine like terms. Negative 12c plus 4c is negative 8c. So this is going to be negative 8c. Let me get a different color. So we're going to have negative 8c, and again, we just write from the biggest degree to the smallest degree. So this could be 6c squared minus 8c minus 8. And this is my final answer because there's nothing else I can simplify. I'm completely done with my simplifying. Okay, let's take a look at this example. Here they don't say this times this, but they have an exponent, and we know what exponents means. This squared means times itself twice. So to expand this, I can write it 4p plus 3 times 4p plus 3. So from here, I'm going to now do what we've been practicing. I'm going to go ahead and do 4p times 4p. So 4p times 4p, that's going to give me again, if you need to write all these out, that's okay. At the beginning, that's how it will be. So 4p times 4p, that's going to give me 16p squared. Now I'm going to do 4p times positive 3. And I think they made an error here, so don't even look at this. They made a mistake. Okay, so 16p squared. 4p times a positive 3, that gives me, so 4p times a positive 3, that gives me 12p. Okay, so I did my first one. Now let's do the second one times everything. So now let's do positive 3 times 4p. So positive 3 times 4p. 3 times 4p gives me 12p. So I'm going to put plus 12p. And then I still need to do positive 3 times positive 3. So positive 3 times positive 3, I know that. That's going to be 9. So I'm going to put plus 9. Okay, we're not done yet. We still need to simplify. So I'm going to look here and see if there's anything that I can combine together. Right away I see there's a 12p and another 12p. So I know what that is. 12p plus 12p gives me 24p. And then this 16p squared and this 9, I can't combine because they don't have the same last name. So I'm just going to keep it as 16p squared plus 24p plus 9. And that's going to be my final answer for this problem. Okay, so now let's take a look at example 3. Now, if you notice, example 3 is slightly a little bit different because now they have it drawn as a shaded region, and it's more like a little bit of geometry combined with algebra. So they want to know what's the area of the shaded region. Well, first of all, let's talk about how would I find the area of this rectangle here. Well, it's just going to be base times height. So in this case, the area of this big rectangle is going to be 4r plus 1 times 2r plus 5. And then how do I find the area of this small white rectangle? I would do 3r plus 2 times r minus 1. Now, why are we subtracting it? That's where you have to ask yourself, why is subtracting? So think of it like this, guys. It's like I have some cookie dough, and I get a cookie cutter, which is in the shape of a rectangle, and I'm going to put it in there, and I'm going to take it out. Well, to find how much cookie dough is left over, I'm actually subtracting. So that's why we're going to do this area minus this area. So let's go ahead and apply what we know. We're going to distribute first. So 4r times 4r, that gives me 4 times 2 is 8. R times r is 8r squared. Now let's do 4r times 5. 4 times 5 is 20, and then an r, so plus 20r. Now let's go ahead and do the next one. So positive 1 times 2r, that's going to give me positive 2r. And a positive 1 times 5, that's going to give me a positive 5. Okay, so we've done those steps. Let's go ahead and do it on the other side also. 3r times positive r. Well, 3 is just 3, and then r times r is r squared. Then 3r times a negative 1 is a negative 3r. And now let's do the second part. So positive 2 times positive r is a positive 2r, and a positive 2 times a negative 1 is a negative 2. And now we need to start combining our like terms. So I'm going to go over here, and I'm going to highlight what is like terms. Well, I can combine 20r and 20r. Over here, I can also combine minus 3r and positive 2r. So let's go ahead and simplify that further. So we can get positive 20r plus 2r is 22r, and negative 3r plus 2r is a negative r. Okay, so far we've been simplifying. We still need to make sure that we subtract. So remember when we learned way back in this, I don't remember what video, but we learned that when you have a minus, there's a minus 1 in front. So we need to distribute that minus 1 into everything. So that's going to change the sign of everything. That's why they're drawing it right here. So if we do that, that's going to be a negative 3r squared, a negative a negative r, and a positive r and a positive 2. So let's go ahead and continue from there. So now we have negative 3r plus r plus 2. So now let's combine our like terms. I have 22r, which can combine with this regular plus r. This 5 can combine with this 2, and then we have a 8r squared that can combine with this negative 3r squared. So let's go ahead and see what we get. 8r squared minus 3r squared is going to give me 5r squared. Let's do the pink now. So in the pink, we have 22r plus r, and that's going to give me positive 23r. And now let's do the yellow. In the yellow, we have a positive 5 plus 2, so that's going to give us a positive 7. Now that I've done that, I ask myself, is there anything else I can combine? No, because none of these have the same last name, so I know that I'm completely done, and that's my final answer.